What's going on, guys? JPB2 here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Thursday. And for today's gameplay, we have an Avengers Pranks versus a Runick matchup, with my opponent playing Runick's going first. Now, first of all, I'm going to be wishing you guys a early Happy New Year's. So, Happy New Year's, guys. Also, sorry for not being able to stream for the past couple of days and the no YouTube video uploads either. It's because my family members have been coming over to our house and I have not been at my home for the past couple of days. We have been out on a trip, so I really do apologize about it. I just got home tonight, so I will be uploading my first YouTube video for today. Hopefully, I'll be able to continue uploading my YouTube videos for tomorrow and for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday as well. So let's hope it all comes about. So without further ado, let's get on with today's replay. So somehow these guys always start with the Runick Fountain in their hand, and this guy had Runick Fountain in his hand. Now, most of the times, these Runick players, they do run a card of Demise, and the whole reason for setting down cards is to activate Card of Demise from their hand for additional draw power, and then set down two more and pass their turn over. But in this situation, this guy just sets down three cards even after he has Fountain on the field and passes the turn over while keeping one card in his hand. This lets me know that these cards are either Solemn Judgments or some sort of Floodgates that he's running, right? So let's see how we play through this. With that, the turn is over, it comes over to my turn. I draw into one of the biggest counters against the Runick players, the Anti-Spell Fragrance Floodgate that I run in my Floodgates deck list. So our first order of business is try to bait out as many cards as possible and then go into our Floodgates combo, right? So we activate the right. He does not negate it. We do get a token on the field. Now the unfortunate part about this is the Floodgates. So this guy had Floodgate in his hand, he had Rivalry, he flips over Rivalry. That means we cannot go into our combo whatsoever. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed this guy's name right here. That's how most people feel about Konami, I would say, but we don't say as much, but yeah. This guy just put that whole thing in his name. So, Rivalry states that each player can only control one type of monster, and so that means this card is a fairy type of monster. This card is a winged beast. Our Prankist cards are basically all different types of monster, so we cannot do our combo anymore. Now, another unfortunate part about this is that unless I hard draw into my Draco back, I am not even able to get Draco back in my hand because I cannot summon any other monster. So I still, however, search for Griffin and pitch out the Fancies from my hand in the hopes that in case he pops my token, because it is a special summon monster, I could maybe draw into a Thunder Dragon Fusion, and as long as I keep pitching my cards out for the Thunder Dragon Fusion, maybe I'll be able to put Butler on the field somehow. And Anti-Spell Fragrance is a big stall card against Runics that we do play, right? So with that, he activates Slumber and starts banishing out my cards. Activates the Fountain, recycles out the Slumber for +1. Now, the thing is, the card that Slumber targets becomes immune to destruction through battle or through card effects once, but it cannot attack directly, I believe. That's what it states. So with that, our token cannot attack. On opponent's draw phase, I instantly activate the Anti-Spell Fragrance and opponent just sets down two cards, passes his turn over. My turn, I actually top deck Draco back. Now guys, once again, 90% of the times, Draco back being drawn is one of the worst cards ever to draw. But in certain situations when you absolutely need that card, this card is a godsend draw for you right there. So this card being drawn is pretty huge for me because now I'll be able to bounce out the Rivalry and hopefully combo out. The only problem is that if he has another Floodgate set on the field, I will not be able to go into my Prankist combo whatsoever. So fingers crossed, let's see how it goes. Now, okay. Because of the Anti-Spell Fragrance, we cannot activate Draco back ourselves either. We have to set it down on the field first, and then on our next turn, will be able to attach Draco back to the token and then bounce out the rivalry, right? So with that, I search for Enchantress and pitch Enchantress as well. Banish out the Enchantress, search for right. I'm even gonna set down the right and set down my Prank Kids Lamseys. So in case, once again, he does pop my right, I will be able to go into another token to attach Draco back to it and then bounce out rivalry, right? That was the whole play in my head for this. With that, I whack him in the face for 2k. He has no answer, so I just pass my turn over with that. On that, the opponent's draw phase, he activates a Pot of Duality. Now, I am going to Ash Blossom this. I do not want this pot going through, even though he could have the Runick card set up and maybe drew into a Runick cards. We don't care as much because, again, if this card is a Runick card, yes, he could activate it, yes, he could recycle for 1, but because of the anti-spell fragrance, he cannot activate any other Runick cards unless he sets them down on the field, right? So I don't want to Ash him for one single draw. I would rather Ash him for a maybe flip over one of another Floodgates that he probably has. I don't want that happening, right? So we Ash Blossom the Pot of Duality, it resolves, gets negated out, and then the opponent sets down another card from his hand, passes his turn over. Draw phase, we draw into another Ash Blossom, pretty good, okay, I attach Draco back, and target bounce out the rivalry. Now I'm thinking, okay, maybe we got this guy. Maybe we could just end the game right here, right now. But nope. He had another plan. He had another rivalry set on the field, apparently. So this is the card he drew last turn, I believe, that he set down, which is pretty annoying, let's be honest. Now he's going to have both rivalries in rotation. So that means I cannot go into my Prank Kids combo whatsoever unless I draw into a Harpy's Feather Duster, which I'll have to set down as well, unless he pops out my Anti-Spell Fragrance somehow. So with that, we just go into battle phase, whack him for 2k, and we pass our turn over. Now I'm hoping, okay, and this is a big hope on my part, that this guy does not draw into any sort of pop edge on my back row, and I could just keep whacking him for 2k every single turn and just end the game in 2 turns after this. That's the biggest hope I have right now. With that, he activates Runick Tip. Once again, I'm going to Ash Blossom that. I do not want him searching for any of his Runick cards. I do not want to deal with Destruction because Anti-Spell Fragrance is the card that is keeping me alive and in the game right now. So Ash on that. He activates the Fountain, recycles out the tip, draws 1 card, and he goes into main phase. He sets down 2 more cards, passes his turn over. Now, once again, guys, one of the cards he set down is a guaranteed rivalry from his hand that we bounced on our previous turn. So I know that for a fact. So he set down cards in this column and this column. Again, I do not know if the card he drew into is a Destruction because once again, Destruction can pop out the anti-spell and it's going to be a whole lot of hassle for us to be able to play into him afterwards. So with that, I bounce out the Fountain. Now, yes, the Fountain bounce out is pretty bad over here. I probably should have gone for the 50-50, but again, you guys need to understand, the 50-50 is a chance I was not willing to take because once again, there's no point in bouncing the face down card because if the card I target is rivalry, he already has a rivalry on the field. And I don't know what the other two cards he set down previously were. They could be other Floodgates, right? Also for the Destruction part, I was really hoping for him to not have it set down. And the whole reason for the bounce out on the Fountain is that as long as Anti-Spell stays on the field, he will not be able to activate Fountain. That means he will not be able to do stuff on my turn. So that was the biggest thing going on in my head. But if he had a Fountain set up in either, Destruction set up in either one of these cards, my anti-spell goes away anyways. So I was willing to take a chance on the bounce of the Fountain right there. With that, we go into battle phase, whack him for 2k in the face, and I pass my turn over. Now the opponent is down to 2k life points. Let's see. Unfortunately, the card he did have set down was Destruction, and Destruction goes through and pops out my Anti-Spell Fragrance. It's pretty bad, but okay. He activates the Fountain from his hand, sets down another card, passes his turn over. draw phase, I draw into a cross out. With that, I activate Draco back and try to, at this point, we just have to go for the bounce on the Runick fountain because otherwise it's like there's no point popping back row at this point. So he activates Runick Destruction again. That's pretty lucky. Pops my Draco back. That means the fountain is not going to get bounced out. So unfortunately, goes through. Draco back still comes back on the field regardless. So we get it attached. He's going to activate fountain, recycle 2 cards for a +2 draw, right? Okay, can't ash it, so he gets a draw out. With that, Dracoback comes on the field, and apparently, he did not draw into any of his Runick cards, I believe, because he chose to scoop right there. If he did not draw into any of his Runick cards, my token whack was just enough for game. I was gonna go into battle phase anyways and whack him to see if he had another card or not, and apparently he did not. So that's gonna be it for today's gameplay, guys. Hope you guys do enjoy this video, and if you do, please consider hitting the like button, subbing to my channel for more daily prank video uploads, and if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule and a link to my Discord will be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBduel signing out for today, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video, guys. Peace!